What's going on, everyone? You guys already know who it is. It's the boy back at it. Now, you might be looking at this title and being like, bro, why do you keep talking about this one phone over and over again? Is there nothing else going on in your life that you want to talk about? And you might be intrigued and actually fascinated by the fact that this is a separate phone than the iPhone SE2. The iPhone XE is supposed to be a bigger version of the iPhone SE, but a smaller version of the iPhone XS. Now, in my opinion, like I've stated before, I'm pretty sure the iPhone SE is supposed to be coming out in WWDC of this year. It's supposed to be like the iPhone SE, but just like a edge-to-edge display with a notch up top, all that good stuff. But recently rumors have started coming out that Apple is going to make a 5.4-inch iPhone XS type of display phone, and they're naming it the iPhone XE. So if you guys don't know, the iPhone XS currently has a 5.8-inch display. I have an iPhone X and I love it. I think it's the perfect size. But for those of you who don't know, the iPhone XS is actually bigger than the iPhone 8. It's like a bigger size. So the iPhone XE would potentially have a iPhone 8 style body, which it would be edge-to-edge display as well, but the size of it would be exactly the same. Now, as you can see from the images, kind of the small renders I've done, these are very basic ones. They actually turned out pretty good. The iPhone XE, which is in the center, is a little bit smaller than the iPhone XS, but obviously bigger than the iPhone SE, so it would be in that middle price point and in the middle of the feeling in the hand. Now, the iPhone SE2 is supposed to have a 4.8-inch display. Like I stated, the iPhone XE is supposed to have a 5.4-inch display, so it's supposed to be bigger than the iPhone SE2 as well, if the iPhone SE2 does ever come again. These are all rumors. So my thoughts on it are, all these rumors are saying that it's supposed to come out in 2020, so it's probably not going to happen this year, but again, I could possibly see Apple doing something like this year as well, which would be where the SE2 comes in. But I think the iPhone XE would essentially replace the iPhone XR size in just the iPhone XR lineup of the phone, because I don't know why they made the iPhone XR bigger than the iPhone XS. They should have just made it smaller, so they kind of dropped the ball there in my opinion. Apparently in 2019 they're not supposed to be doing anything crazy with the lineup with the already manufactured phones. We're supposed to be seeing probably the Pro models of those phones, but who knows. But my thoughts, if it's supposed to be released next year, it will obviously be replacing the iPhone XR line. So the iPhone XE, in my opinion, might have a lower resolution in the screen department. It might be 1080p, but I think it's most likely probably going to be in between 720 and 1080p, so something like 850 or whatever that display size is. I really think it should be higher resolution than the iPhone XR and have a higher pixels per inch than it too, but I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. But in my opinion, it's going to be higher resolution than 720p, but less resolution than 1080p. Now this year we're seeing the A13 Apple chip, next year we'll see the A14, so if this phone does come next year, most likely it will come with the Apple A14 chip. I think it's going to have the best chipset at the time. I don't think they're going to put a year-old chipset in it. Now in the RAM department, it could have 3 to 4 gigs of RAM. It's going to be able to go through whatever you want on it. Again, like I've stated 3 billion times, the iPhone 6s has 2 gigs of RAM, and I think it's perfectly equipped with decently performing tasks that you wouldn't wish to do with it. The iPhone X had 3 gigs of RAM, the iPhone XS had a little bit more, but overall I think the performance is going to be perfectly fine, and it's pretty much going to bring everything that the iPhone of 2020 is going to bring. If there's a higher certification of IP certification, waterproofness, whatever, it's going to come with it. If there's any new features, if somehow randomly the 2020 iPhone support Apple Pencil support, then the iPhone XE should support it as well. But again, these are so far long down the line that's really hard to determine what's going to be in it and what's not. So for the most part, we're going to have to see what happens. But in my opinion, I think this phone is going to be priced somewhat near the iPhone XR. I feel like it's not going to be cheaper than the current iPhone XR, but if anything, it might be a little bit more expensive. The base model for the iPhone XE could potentially be somewhere around that $800 price tag. We saw with the iPhone XR it was $750. This one could be a little bit more than that. It really just depends. Again, these are my speculations. This is not like engraved in anything right now, but if I had to take a stab at it, because it's going to be, a better phone overall than the iPhone XR, high resolution screen and OLED screen potentially and all these other things, I could see them increasing the prices, which would be stupid. They really shouldn't, but I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens. So overall, in my opinion, it could be such a huge hit. The market needs some type of smaller phone to go to. Some people with the iPhone XS think it's too big for them too. So, having a little bit of a smaller device could potentially mean that they could upgrade to a smaller phone, where we're so used to seeing an upgrade to a bigger phone. This one could be the opposite. And I think the iPhone SE was a great phone. If the SE2 does come, I think it's going to be a tremendous phone as well. But if the iPhone XE comes, dude, that's going to be a killer. I would probably use that as a main device. Just having something a little bit smaller than the XS. I have small hands. You can say jokes to me all you want. But with the iPhone XS, I don't have a hard time using it at all. Like, I think it's perfectly fine. But having just a little bit smaller of a device would be perfect in my hands. And if it was the same size as an iPhone 8 and having that edge-to-edge display, I think it'd be perfectly amazing. So that is pretty much all I have to say about this. If more leaks, news, rumors I make or whatever, if those come up, I'll definitely make an updated video on this. But as of right now, this is currently where the iPhone XE stands. If you have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel, all those links are linked down below. I would really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.